it's Darby with rejoiceandcreate.com, and today I'm showing you my advent calendar for this year. Now, this is an advent calendar that has 25 boxes on it, and each box is 2 inches by 2 inches by 1 inch deep. And it's set on a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock that's folded over on the edges for a little strength, as well as a 12 by 12 cardstock frame that holds all the boxes together. Now, each individual box is not difficult to make, but certainly you have to make 24 of the colored ones, and actually I have 5 rows of 5 because in my 25th one is Christmas Day, and we always have the baby Jesus, God's greatest gift. Alright, so a little bit about this. As you can see, each of the boxes opens up down, and let me go ahead and pick this one. Actually, let me pick number 1. It opens up this way. The Christmas story in verses, and every day is 1 or 2 verses, and I had printed them out. And actually, this is what was taking me so long. I was trying to figure out a way to get my PDF on my website because I have that, I think printables tab that has absolutely nothing on that page. And I thought this would be a fun thing to put first on that page. So I'm still going to try to do it. It's not there yet, but I'll go ahead and try to get this into a PDF. So if you want to follow the Christmas story and put one in every day, then you can go ahead and do that. And you can use like a 1 3/4 or 2 inch punch to punch these out. And I also had a little tab just to pull it open at the top. Alright, so I used the Stampin' Up! Large alphabet dies on this one, as well as a scripted Mary that I don't know if they still have or not, actually. I haven't looked that one up, but there's many companies that have a scripted Mary, or you can put a banner on here or decorate it anywhere you want. It would be cute with little scenes if you want to put little snowmen and little Santa or presents or anything on there. And to decorate each of my boxes, I used either a little doily, which was one of the retired in colors from, I don't know, a couple years back. And I used Tip Top Taupe because that's the one that matched. Now you'll notice my doily is a little bit bigger. I just cut 2 rows of the scallops off and it made a perfect size to fit onto my box. And for the others, I used one of the smaller gold doilies that I had left over. And these I used a scalloped 1 3/4 inch scalloped circle, and I just punched it out of some of the holographic red border paper that I got at Dollar Tree. I stamped a retired number set, and this is Memorable Moments. And I just, as you can see, nothing's even. I stamped it all over. I thought it was a whimsical look if I did it all differently. And then just to decorate, I used the triple leaf punch from Stampin' Up!, which is still available. This punch from McGill, which had the little bow that I used to decorate these. I used a Paper Studio punch, which is a little snowflake one, to punch my little snowflakes to decorate some of them. And I also used this punch from Stampin' Up!, and I don't think this one's available anymore. I mean, obviously this is a whale tail, but I don't think they even have the fold flat one as well. But I used the small flower, this one, and I punched it twice and layered it for my little poinsettias. And finally, for this one, I used a bow die that I'd gotten from AliExpress and a little Merry Christmas banner. And of course I used 24 boxes that I made using the Tim Holtz Ideology Christmas pattern. And I thought it was really nice because I used, I think there's 2 boxes from each pattern, and I used 8 by 8 pages. Alright, so let me go ahead and show you how to make the boxes. But first let me show you the boxes from the paper. So this was an 8 by 8 piece of paper. So you cut off a 1 inch strip, because what we need is a 4 inch by 7 inch box. So you cut off a 1 inch strip and you have 8 by 7, and then you just cut that in half. So you have 2 4 by 7 inch pieces for your box. Now for the 12 inch pad, let me get that one right. Okay, so this is how I got it from the 12 by 12 paper. First I cut off a 7 inch strip, and I cut that into 3 4 inch sections. And I had a 5 inch strip left over, so I cut one of the pieces into a 7-inch, and then I had this 5x5 left over to decorate something else. And then from this 5x7, I cut 1 inch off to give me a 4x7. Now, because this is an all-over pattern, it doesn't matter which way it goes. But if it's an upright pattern and that bothers you, if it box would be sideways, you can just use 3 and then just keep this for something else, for another project. All right, so let me go ahead and get these, because this is the pattern we're going to be doing with it next time. Now, these 1-inch strips that you have, don't throw them away, because actually if you're going to do nuggets, you can use one of these strips or to decorate up to 2 nuggets, because this strip ends up being 7 inches long, and usually it only takes a 1-inch by 3-inch strip to decorate a nugget, so don't waste any of these. Alright, so these papers came from a paper collection from Recollections called Christmas Be Merry Paper Pad, and this is the paper we'll be using for our Advent calendar today. Alright, so I have my 4 pieces of paper from this. You'll need 24 colored pieces of paper, and I've already made a lot of the boxes because I didn't think you needed to sit here and watch me make all my boxes. But you score them all the same way, and it's very easy. Put it up on the long side and score it at 1 inch, 3 inches, 4 inches, and 6 inches. Turn it to the side and score it at 1 inch and 3 inches. All right. Okay, and I already punched out some of the classic label punches. All right, so building the box is fairly easy and straightforward. Let me turn that over so you can see the inside of it. You have 3 squares on each side and 2 rectangles. So cut up the rectangular side of the score line and notch slightly into the square side on this one, and then just on this side of this last tab. And then I just very slightly notched into the top. I didn't really need to that much. It actually helped me line it up better if I kept it a little bit straighter. Okay, on the top one, we're going to do this one as well. Cut up on this side of the rectangle and very slightly notch into there. First, let me go ahead and fold and burnish. All right, on the bottom side of it, which was the side over here, go ahead and put some adhesive on the 4 tabs. And now let's go ahead and form the bottom of the box. Okay, now I have the boxes like this, and the top is going to fold into it like this, or the front I should say, because it's actually a front opening box. And you can see that there's some interference right there. So these 2 we're going to wedge. Okay, so now that we have these 2, make sure that they will go in and they fit in nicely. We're going to go ahead and do the top. And how we're going to do that is we're going to fold this over and glue it this way, and it will tuck in like that. But we need to have some way to open and close it, because once they're all stacked together, a finger notch isn't going to help you that much. So what I did was I punched out a coordinating cardstock. But if you don't have a word window or a classic label punch, all you have to do is cut a strip of paper or cardstock 3/8 of an inch wide and use a 2-inch section to do this, because that's approximately what this is. So what I'm going to do is actually on the top left side of all of my boxes, I had my little tab. So this is where I want it. So I'm actually going to put some glue in here so I can fold that over, as well as glue on both of these tabs. Okay, and I'll put this where I want it. And I have about 3/8 of an inch sticking over, and they're all on the top left side. So go ahead and fold that over and stick it there. And before I fold those tabs over, I'm actually going to take my stapler and secure it with a stapler. And I put the nice smooth side of the staple on top, and on the bottom side will cover over the rough side of the staple. Okay, so now the box will close like this. Those in and this tuck in. Now I have a couple other ways if you want to do a different pull on it. This one's just a ribbon pull, and I tied a knot with a ribbon, and this is a cherry cobbler ribbon from Stampin' Up, and I threaded it through with a knot on the outside and tied a knot on the inside, and that just gives me a little knot to pull it open with. And I did the same thing with a little loop of twine. Okay, so I finished 24 boxes and I finished my one gold box. So I have 5 rows of 5, but let me go ahead and show you how I did the backing for it. So the first one we're going to do is the one that's the frame. And I went back through my pattern pack, my paper pack, and I actually decided on this one for the frame. So I'm going to flip it over because sometimes it's hard to score on the glittered side because this is a glittered cardstock. And you would think that if you have 5 2-inch boxes side by side that it would come out to 10 inches and you just go for an inch on each side, but that's actually not the case. It comes out a little bit wider, actually 10 1/4 inches. So our frame is actually going to be at 7/8 of an inch all the way around. So go ahead and put your paper that you want to do for your frame in and score it at 7/8 of an inch all the way around. Alright, we're going to use our scoring tool in just a minute, but we will do this part first. Okay, now what we want to do is when we want to fold it up around the boxes, we want this part showing, the decorative part. So we're actually going to put that together this way. And I like having the corners of it a little bit rounded. If you like that, then go ahead and just round all the corners at this point. Alright, and now we're going to put it together just like any other box. And I want the top and the bottoms, I want the bottom ones to overlap on the outside and the top ones to overlap on the outside. So what we're going to do is to cut on the side and just very slightly wedge it. We're just going to cut off that score line basically. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and fold this back gently. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is just to actually arrange my boxes because I want to have a scattered look to them, and I want the tabs all to be on the top left side of the box. And remember, I want all these to pull down like this, so make sure I arrange them all the right way. Because I have my tabs already on them, it works better, I think. Okay, so once we have our pattern the way we want them to, we're going to start gluing them in place. And I'll start with the bottom row, so I'm going to snug these guys up a little bit. And I'll take my bottom row and put them on top so I know which ones are my bottom. And then I'll take some liquid glue because this helps you with the moving around. And just go ahead and put it all over that bottom row inside. And then go ahead and put these guys back and make sure that they line up between all your frame. Okay, we'll just hold them for a minute until they stick. And then go ahead and do that with your next one too. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to put the sides up. I'm going to do this other side too. And then finally the bottom and top. Now this is the paper I decided I liked for the backing of it. And again, this is a glitter paper, so I'm going to turn it over. And because I want it to actually be even a little bit wider, I want just a very narrow margin on the sides. And of course, I'll be a little bit bigger on the top. I'm going to score it at 3/4 of an inch on each side. On this side, and turn it 180 degrees all the way around, and 3/4 of an inch on this side. Okay, so it's just on the opposite sides. And if there's a pattern, make sure the pattern is up and it's running down the sides of the pattern. Alright, so just fold these back. And again, this will make it just a little bit stronger when you go to hang it and you're backing it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put some score tape on this one because it's quick and it dries quickly because it's dry. And then we can just keep moving on. Okay, so one side is going to be on the top and one will be on the bottom, and the two sides that you folded in. Now this is a retired punch from Stampin' Up, but there are many corner rounders available. And last time I used this open one because I thought it was a solid cardstock and gave it a little bit nice detail. This time, because it's a glitter cardstock, I'm just going to use this one. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to actually center this so there's a 1/8 of an inch reveal on each side and the bottom. Alright, so how I'm going to do this is I'm actually going to put some strips of tape, and in between that I'm going to put glue. And just go ahead and get it towards the edges so it'll hold it all together. And fill in the middle. You want it to stick. And actually, after doing all this work, you might want to stick for the long haul because you can reuse these. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn that back over. Make sure we're right side up, she says from experience. Alright, so my tabs are on the top left, and I'm going to plop it right here loosely while I make sure it's lined up all the way around. And then stick it down. Okay, I'm going to turn it over and just rub the back of it to get it all stuck. Okay, so at this point I would go ahead and maybe just set a big flat book on it to let it just glue down for a little bit to make sure it's really secure in there. And then I would decorate it as I like. Alright, so that's how this one looked decorated. I used some stickers that I got at Dollar Tree on a cardstock, and then used the doilies and the scalloped circle punches. This is a 1 3/4 inch scalloped circle. These are the doilies that I had left over from the color grouping a couple years ago. And because I used an image for the circle this time, I went ahead and stamped the numbers on a little strip of paper and just flagged it. And that is from Project Life Data by Stampin' Up, and of course this is a retired set. But I just wanted to show you how I did my Advent calendar this year. And as I said, if you put something heavy in there and it falls forward, the the little doors might come open. So if you're gifting it to someone, you may just want to put a glue dot right there when you tuck it in, so it will stay a bit sturdy. And you can always just press just a little bit from the top. And again, you can press on this one. Once you close this one up, you can press from the top too, so you can work from the bottom up. So I hope you enjoyed this project. It definitely is a labor of love. Let me bring my other one in. But it will last through the years. Here's both of them. So you can put as much or as little effort into decorating it as you want to. If it's going to be a one-time thing, I probably wouldn't spend too much time and too much expensive things on there, just some nice festive things for Christmas. But if it's something that's going to last a while, I'd put a little effort into making it beautiful, because then you can use it year after year. So I hope you enjoyed the project today and give it a try. If you liked the video, please subscribe and hit the bell notification to be notified of new videos as I upload them. If you need more information on this project or other projects I've done, please go to rejoiceandcreate.com. And as always, until we meet again, I hope your days are blessed. Bye!